Come back. We're here at the graveside for the commemoration. And it's pretty hot.
Well,
Why
welcome
don't you
everyone.
have your cane, John?
My name is Chris, and I'm Annabelle and Mark's youngest son-in-law, married to Dee McClave. And as it says in Ecclesiastes, to everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. The purpose of this get-together is to dedicate this tombstone to Mark and Annabelle Reinhardt. And just to show you how serious we are about this, I'm wearing Mark's official riding derby that he wore to all of these sanctioned equestrian events, steeplechase, everything, because he was a gentleman jockey. And Dee is wearing Annabelle's party bonnet. Good for you. So I'm just going to start with a very brief poem and then turn it over to the other speakers. This is a poem called The Dash Between. I knelt there at the headstone of one I loved and cried. Name with dates of birth and death were perfectly inscribed. I pondered these two dates and how little they both mean when compared to the tiny dash that lies there in between. The dash serves as an emblem of our time here on this earth, and although small, it stands for all our years of life and work. And our worth will be determined by how we live each day. We can fill our dash with goodness or waste our life away. To ourselves as well as others, let's be honest, kind, and true. And every day live the way we know God wants us to. May we look for opportunities to do a worthy deed and reach out with compassion to those who are in need. For if our hearts are full of love throughout our journey here, we'll be loved by all who knew us, and our memory they'll hold dear. And when we die, these memories will bring grateful, loving tears to all whose lives were touched by the dash between our years. Annabelle and Mark had many wonderful years together between their dashes. Each of us will carry forward our own special memories from their remarkable lives. To continue forward in our journey of remembrance and in celebration of their lives, I now ask John Diley to continue the ceremony.
Good afternoon. I'm John Tiffin Diley, eldest grandson of Mark's eldest sister Mary Frances, who would have been 112 today.
Louder, John.
You have to be a little louder, but it should have been 112?
112.
Oh my gosh.
She would have done it too.
Speak louder, John.
Okay. We are dedicating the stone to the memory of Mark and Annabelle, so it's good that we remember a few things about them. Mark was delivered by Dr. Lincoln, a relative of Abraham's, and was born near Lincoln Inn in Lacey Spring. The Lincoln family lived there before they moved to West Virginia. Moved west. Dr. Lincoln waited until he had collected a number of birth certificates to date them on the day he sent them to Richmond. So Mark had two birthdays, his actual one and his official one. Annabelle was delivered in a homeopathic hospital in the District of Columbia on Groundhog's Day. which made it easy for everybody to remember her. When Mark was in his early 20s and Annabelle was a mid-teen, the Reinhardts rented a farm in Langley, Virginia for a riding stable. It was about half a mile away from Annabelle's home on Marion Avenue in McLean. Not only did the Reinhardts have two unmarried sons about Annabelle's age, Tip and Mark, but there were lots of action and entertainment there, bear hunts, horse shows, etc. Annabelle spent lots of time with the Reinhardts, riding and enjoying the fun. She also worked there off and on, taking in money from the riders and occasionally painted some signs for Mark's father. Mark spent lots of time with Annabelle, enjoying her company at movies and trail rides, etc. He enjoyed her cooking, which she liked doing for him. Early on, they began working together on projects, like turning her parents' chicken house into a playhouse for her sister, Daryl. They were married for about 30 years and shared interests in the welfare and education of their daughters, fox hunting with the Fairfax Hunt, public politics, and much more. Annabelle was a homemaker and Mark was a breadwinner. When Mark worked for the D.C. Fire Department, he also worked a second job as a contractor. This meant that he was not home a lot, which was hard on them both. Annabelle did her part for the family finances by making do with what they had, sewing and fixing up things to keep them nice. Mark retired on disability from the fire department, but had rental property, rental real estate, had begun a business, the McLean Bowling Center, which took up a lot of his time. The two of them worked together to renovate their properties, and they often sat at the kitchen table going over business decisions. Of course, they continued with their interests in their daughters, fox hunting, and politics. It was a shock to everybody when Mark died at 56 after riding in the Fairfax Hunt's winning mixed team relay at the annual Potomac Hunt race in Maryland. Hunt races had been a traditional family activity, and Annabelle and his daughters had gone to cheer him on. Annabelle was 44 years without Mark, but she always had the loving support of her family and many friends. She went on numerous trips and enjoyed telling everybody stories about her adventures. Despite health issues, she remained strong until near her end. But at 96, she said she was finally ready to move on. For a person who had lived through a lot of hard times and had such a dramatic life, she was blessed with an early and quiet passing. As we look back on their lives, Mark and Annabelle would probably want us to remember the words of Dr. Seuss. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Very nice.
Thank you.
We're going to conclude the ceremony with some remarks from Annabelle and Mark's son-in-law, Daniel Platt. Dan?
Thank you. We are gathered here to remember Mark and Annabelle Reinhardt and to dedicate this stone to them. Mark's name waited alone on this stone from 1971 till 2015. On this day, in 1977, I married their eldest daughter, Melinda. So, like some of you, I was too late in this family to have a chance to know Mark. But I was nearby a year ago today when Annabelle went to join Mark. I was not only Annabelle's close Virginia neighbor and son-in-law, but she relied on me to keep her lawnmower, leaf vacuum running, and other handyman tasks that Mark would have easily done. A year ago, in my eulogy for Annabelle, I described them as members of the greatest generation. Commitment, sacrifice, endurance were watchwords throughout their lives, and always love saw them through. They were married in wartime. He was in the Coast Guard for the first 2 years of their married life and had multiple duty assignments. He was assigned to protect beaches from Virginia to Florida. Not wanting to be separated, Annabelle and baby Melinda joined him whenever they could. At his discharge from the service, he wrote the following to her, quote, "I know that really we've never had a married life, and now that such is in the offing, I feel just like a brand new bridegroom, and although we have lived together for brief periods and have already developed one relationship to parenthood, the true association of marriage has never really been ours. Again I say, let us hope and pray that we make a success of it." As I look at this stone and around this group, I can answer him, yes, Mark and Annabelle, you were a success. You had 2 more wonderful daughters, Roxanne and Dee Dee. You have 9 wonderful grandchildren and are beginning to have great-grandchildren. They too will do you proud. I am honored to dedicate this stone with you. Speaking for all of us, I hereby dedicate this stone to Mark and Annabelle as it memorializes 2 lives well lived. Thank you for coming.